No, guess we're on. Give me a second, get my notes right. Boom, shakalaka. Let me get this shiny out of your face. Got that window right behind me, and I got these cool glasses that I can't see without. Well, I can, but not really well. But whenever I'm doing this video thing, pow, and all you see is where my eyes should be. So, technical difficulties. All right. Hey, how you doing? This is Chris, C2 Local. I came across a concept that I wanted to get out, and because it's kind of big. I can't believe I haven't done this one already. I mean, I've sent it out to 1 or 2 people, but I haven't put it on like the site at large. And I'm like, duh, kind of big. So, well, here we are. And the concept that we're going to talk about today happens to be content creation. And we're not going to talk about every aspect of it. We're going to talk about something that's probably going to pop up once you start trying to do this, which is, where do I get the ideas to talk about? Because if you understand the concept about local online marketing, then you will understand that the content that you create and put into circulation drives the train. It's the gasoline that fuels the beast. So you have to constantly be putting new content out there, whether you put it into your social media, whether you put it on your blog post, whether you create videos, whatever you're doing, you have to constantly be creating and pushing content out there, because that's how you establish and develop your online presence. And it's your online presence that does all the heavy lifting of finding all that new biscuits that you need to come through the door and come do business with you. They're not going to find you accidentally. You have to go get in front of them. And that's what your content does. All right, let's see. So where do you get all the content, the topics to talk about? Okay, well, let's start with just a little recap. Well, it may not be a recap for you. You may have just stumbled upon this, but when people go online to the great answer machine in the sky, which is Google, they basically are in one of 3 categories. So let's flip this around a little bit. Let's talk in terms of the practicality. You could talk about just about anything you want on your website. It's your website. You do what you do, boo. You do. You carte blanche. You make the rules. However, people are only going to come to the website in terms of if you have something on there that appeals to them. So let's start with, well, you want people to come to your website to buy your products or services. So let's start with the services. Whatever services you have, then the question that you need to answer are the questions that people are asking that would lead them there. You don't lead them to your website to find out about what your products and services are. That was probably a little convoluted, but hopefully that makes some sense to you. So here's what you do. I'm going to step by step it for you. Step 1, look at your list of services. Start at the one that you want to promote the first, the most, and work your way down to the one that you want to promote the least. It's down there, you sell it, you do something with it, but as far as dollars and cents and all that, maybe it's not your most important one. It's on the list, but for right now, no. Start with the one that's most important. Okay. You start with that one, and then you find questions that people are asking. You're saying to yourself, dude, how do I know what people are asking? You've been doing this for a minute, but just in case, let me give you a tool that the good folks at Google have put out there for us. And let's see, the last time I tried to do this video, I used a plastic surgeon. So let me, in the sake of, proving something, keep it plastic surgeon. Don't want to use a plastic surgeon. What's something? Don't want to use massage therapist. That's too common. Air conditioning. Pick something hard. Auto mechanic. Why not? Okay, so let's say you're an auto mechanic, and I'm literally going to type in, because the reason why I'm doing it like this, because I want to show you how this tool, this technique works for no matter what, so you have no excuse. So when I put the hairy eyeball on you, you can understand, like, hey, no excuses. We're in this together. We're trying to get a thing done. I do my part, you do your part. So when I give you that look, you'll understand why. All right, so let's see. Auto mechanic. Let me just type that in there. Let's see where we end up. Hello. Thank you. All right. McNear's Auto Repair. Why not? Go to website. And then let's go to auto services, because obviously it's something he wants to serve. Air conditioner. Let's see. Let's do alignments. I could have done the other two, but air conditioning, it might think I'm talking HVAC, and I don't want to go there. So let's go back one to Google. Hello, there we go. And now let's type in wheel alignment. Boom. All right. Now, this, no matter what you type in there, no matter what service, you see, you don't have to put any extra thought into it. Just type in the thing. I am going to cheat. I'm going to do plastic surgery. As a matter of fact, I'm going to cough, and then I'm going to edit this out. Ooh, that was special. Okay, and the reason I'm going to cheat because I want to show you that this kind of thing shows up. I'm jumping ahead. Sorry, I get excited. You see right here where it says people also ask. That's where you want to make your money. But when I did this the last time, I typed in something called mentoplasty. You know what mentoplasty is? Me neither. But I know it's a thing because it has something to do with the jawline. Did you mean genioplasty? Okay, why not? Genioplasty. You see what says people also ask? It's right there. Let me back this puppy up one. Back that thing up. People also ask. That's where you go to find out what the basic questions happen to be. And because literally people are asking this question. This is a list of questions that people actually typed into Google, which tells you without having to do too much mental exercise, this is what you make your blog posts about. This is what you make your video content about. This is what the content that you create and throw online. And I want to show you one more little technique, a couple things about this, and then I'll move on. I just want to make sure you know that this is here. Oh, let's go back and see that mechanic thing again, just because I'm curious. Okay, yeah. How much does it cost to get in alignment? Is wheel alignment necessary? What are the symptoms of needing? You see what I mean? Those are basic type questions. How cool is that? Anyway, here's the technique I wanted to show you. If you click into one and then click out of it, well, look at that. More questions show up. You don't have to be a genius for this. You just have to know the tricks. And I got you covered. Click out, click back in. Hey, look, more questions. And it works that way for every single one. Let me see, can I get back over here to genoplasty? Click in, click out. Hey, look, more questions. Now, the thing I did want to point out to you is that as you go in here, you'll notice that there's several types of questions, which is basically different people asking the same type of question. So you can't just look at this and say, that's a blog post, that's a blog post, that's a blog post, because is chin surgery painful? Is chin reduction surgery painful? Is the same question. But you do know that people have a question about the painfulness of that surgery. How do you get rid of a pointy chin? That's a different question. Can I reduce my chin bone? Okay, got it. Let's see. There's a jawline question. Jawline, you get the idea. So click in there. And when I say click in there, you would be surprised how persistent all the new questions are. Let's see. You can keep getting new questions for a while. Okay, so you're not going to run out of these. All right, so now that you understand how to find those, and you understand that those are the beginning questions, now the question is, what is the technique? What is the best practice for this? All right, so quick lesson on how the Google machine works. Google is all about relevance. Doesn't care. There's no right or wrong, good or bad. It's relevant. Is what's on your website, on any of the pages on your website, relevant to what someone's typing in the search box in your general area? Because you're not Wikipedia, so people on the other side of the country aren't trying to find out about information on your website, but people in your zip code, people in your county, people nearby in your state, they are. So when you put content that answers these questions, if Google has the ability to give an answer to somebody, to a source that's closer by, especially if it's an authoritative post, in other words, you really answer that question, then Google's going to pay attention to that. So that's a good thing. Now, we said that there's 3 different levels of questions. The first level of question is what you're going to see here, which is we call these solution unaware. It's like, I know I have a problem. I don't know what the solutions are. So they're online tappity trying to find all the different possible solutions that are out there. So after they've lined up all these different solutions, the next natural state is, well, which solution works best for me? So let's say you were a plastic surgeon, because this is the next, I'm jumping around. I got notes here, but I'm jumping around. Yeah, I'll go with it. So that's the next set of questions. Okay, so let's say that we say mentoplasty, chin surgery. That is a solution to whatever problem someone has. Say they have a pointy chin, and that's the problem. Well, are there any other solutions other than that particular surgery? And I know plastic surgery, that's kind of narrow, but if you're a massage therapist, if you're a hairstylist, if you do pain management, you get the idea. There's a bunch of different, other than this, what are the other solutions that are available? That's the kind of thing that you can create content for. And that's the kind of thing that you have to do a little bit of mental exercise for. After that, the next question is, of these particular types of solutions, how do I decide which one's the best one for me? What are the pros and cons? Again, this is more content that you can drop onto your website. And then last but not least is, okay, now that I've figured out what the solutions are, now that I've settled on the solution that I want, how do I find or how do I pick the person who's going to do this thing for me? That's another set of questions that you ask. It's obviously a more developed set of questions because someone now is pretty smart about what we're talking about, whatever the topic happens to be, whatever service it is that you're trying to promote. What are the things they need to know that's going to point them in the right direction? And by in the right direction, we mean in your direction, obviously. Unless, of course, you're one of the low-level oxygen thieves in your market, which I'm going to assume you're not. All right, so those are the 3 levels of questions. That's the content that drives the train. Now, the thing that I kind of got lost on before I took off down that tangent was the sequence of events, or how do you put content on your website? What's the order? What's the method to the madness? So if you understand how Google works, then you will understand that you need to be constantly putting content on your website. And I don't mean wake up in the morning, drop content, and before you go to bed, drop content. If you're a news organization, that makes sense. But if you're just a regular small business person, not so much. As the 2 guys standing in the woods who were being chased by a bear, one guy says, "Can we outrun the bear?" And goes, "You don't have to outrun the bear. I just got to outrun you." That's what you and your competition to your left and right are basically engaged in. Google sends out a spider, which is what we call it, to take a look at what content is on the website. That's how Google knows that, and it does it on a regular basis. However, Google's not going to come out to your website every single day. Google's going to come out to your website if it finds something new. It's going to come back tomorrow. If it doesn't find something, it's going to come back next week. If it doesn't find something, it's going to come back in 2 weeks. And if it never finds anything, it'll come back every 6 months or something like that. You get the idea. You train Google how often to come back to your website by how the sequence or the schedule that you put content on your website. So if you're taking my advice, the best case scenario, given all the things that you've got going on, drop a piece of content once a week. And obviously we can see that there's not going to be a shortage of what can you drop content about. If that's a little rough, once every 2 weeks, that's still acceptable. And if you're just pinched for time, no less than once per month, because you don't want Google to forget to come back, because it's all about relevance. In another video, we'll talk about how to get content done when created when you're not pinched for time. But the long and short of it is content drives the train on relevance, which drives the train on people who you want to find you finding you. So right, wrong, or indifferent, content is king or queen or non-binary, depending on how you roll. All right, so let's see. Have I hit everything? It's a long-term play. Start solution questions. Yep. Oh, almost forgot that one. That's why I take notes. Okay, so you see how you've got all these questions right here, and you can say to yourself, "Wow, that's a bunch of questions." Say you're trying, and you just cranked your website up, and you're trying to establish that, boom, I'm a player in the game. I am here. You got people who've been on site, who've been doing internet marketing for a while in your area, and you want to establish yourself as a new player. Let Google know that you're here. Let all the new people who are searching for content, finding solutions, know that you're here. Do you drop all of these at one time, or do you still trickle this out? I would say that the number one answer on the board is when you're first establishing yourself, go down through your list of services that you want to promote, especially at least the top 5 or whatever, and you come up with a whole bunch of these solution unaware questions, and you get the answers to those, and you create the content. And by create the content, remember, I'm not talking about you write it. You have it created because you just don't have that kind of time unless you're just super person. You get that, and then you drop it like it's hot. Hit it all at one time. Boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, website got thick, quick. That's good. Then drip on that schedule that you're going to use once every couple weeks, once a month minimum, the answers to the higher level questions, choosing between different solutions, how you do whatever, that kind of thing. That would be my solution to you. And then just continue. Once you've done that, once you've established yourself, then go back and go, okay, what other kind of content will we put up there? Okay, so that was the other thing I wanted to drop. Pound the site, got it. Start with solution unaware, got it. Calendar, long-term play, critical mass. Yeah, I don't think I said that, but remember the part where I said that, I don't have to outrun the bear, I just have to outrun you. Most of your competitors aren't dropping content onto their website, which means that Google's coming back to see them once every 6 months, a couple of months or whatever, and every time it comes back, sees the same old thing. If you have a website that's constantly growing, Google notices, and Google will see that you're more relevant, especially when you're putting content that's answering questions on your site. So this is a hardcore throwing elbows type of move. It's something that you have to be somewhat faithful with. Train Google and then keep Google trained. That's good. There's some goodness there. Boom, 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 boom. Competition. Got it. And we have what to do with it once it's created. I'll leave that for the next video. Right now, I just want to make sure that you understand this is where you get the ideas. And once you get the ideas, you need to get those bad boys created. But step one, where do you get the ideas? All right. So we've covered that. I think we're good to go. Look out for that next video because it's going to be a banger just like this one. Let's see. We're going to talk about what to... we're going to talk about what to do with that content once you get it created. It's not going to be as long as this one because I just allowed myself to get long-winded, but you know how I do. It is what it is. All right, let's go forth and do great things. There's all kinds of cheddar out there to be gotten, and let's go get it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.